Alright, I know I'm very late on the trend. I mean, damn, it's been over a month. But screw it, I'll talk about it whenever I can. So, Moon Knight is a show about a man named Stephen Grant who suffers from a sleeping disorder and gets chosen by an Egyptian god in the form of a pigeon as an avatar to stop a group of bad guys from basically taking over the world. Slowly but surely, unsuspected things started to unfold, such as someone starts calling him Mark,
Oh my god, you're alive. What's wrong with you, Mark?
waking up in different places without any recognition, and finding out that he had a different personality. Of course, more and more he gets into a pool of insanity as the journey went on. To be honest, the show has some potentials. Even though I wasn't hooked from the trailers, it seems pretty interesting. At first, because as much as I like the first episode of the show, especially with the cool cinematography and the main character's introduction, the rest is just an absolute train wreck. Even the first episode have a lot of flaws. The Moon Knight show basically knows how to start something but doesn't know how to end it.
Yes! 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 No! 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 Fuck! Shit! Cunt! Bull!
It's just a small portion that the show got it right, which I'll elaborate more on that, as well as negative, which is the main point of why I'm making this video. Moon Knight took place in an incredible landscape of London, and then Egypt. Now I do like to say, I love the way they showed the environment. Basically every character had to do or experience shit from a specific environment. For example, the main character Stephen Grant had to experience rough days to depict his life back home in London.
Well, that don't make sense, because I'm not dead, am I?
Stevie,
Am I?
that better not be you again.
Sorry, Donna. Yeah, sorry.
Don't know how many times I have to tell you this. You're not the bloody tour guide, Stevie.
Stephen. Actually, I am Stephen.
In the pyramid or the temple, Stephen and love interest Layla had to full on going Indiana Jones just to remind you that, hey, this is the temple. Of course, not every theme was done perfectly. There is time where they try to make some fights seem goofy, like it doesn't fit right as the other fights before that.
Sorry. You alright?
And when it comes to the show being a superhero genre, well, Moon Knight as the person with the costume is only in action for 3 episodes, and each appearance he's only appeared for around 10 minutes or less. The majority of the show, and I shit you not, is just wasted with Indiana Jones, which is too much and it gets boring. Episode 4, for example, had no Moon Knight, having Stephen to do nothing. Even the twist is an equivalent to a person gets cured from insomnia, which I'll talk about that later, and most of the gap is Layla being Layla. Listen, I don't hate Layla because of Layla if you think that way, but I expected Moon Knight because this show is literally titled Moon Knight. Okay, this one is going to be messy, so let's talk about that part first. Stephen Grant is the main character, or was it? His introduction as the cocky but nerdy type of character was fine at first, but then here's where the problem starts. At the end of the first episode, as Stephen was being chased by an average Egyptian after the fall of the Ottoman Empire, he's finally met his different personality through a reflection.
Stephen. Stephen, I could save us. But I can't have you fighting me this time. You need to give me control. You understand?
Meet Mark Spector. Mark Spector is the reason why Stephen keeps waking up in different places being confused. Mark is his other personality with the ability to fight, have better reflexes, and more dead-ass serious. Meaning Mark have the exact opposite from Stephen, whereas Stephen is good at solving clues and language, Mark is more of a fighting machine. So then what's the problem? Well, the problem comes with how their origin was presented. You see, in episode 5 it was revealed that Mark Spector was the original. He was facing trauma as a child, so in order to cope, he created Stephen so that whenever he's in danger, Stephen will taking care of it because he apparently doesn't have fear. Yeah, right.
What am I doing? What am I doing? I don't even have my license.
So who's supposed to be suffering here and who's supposed to be comfortable here? Because both are the lost soul who suffers. Like what? It's obvious that the director got confused on who's supposed to be the main character because Steven and Mark switch place over and over from episode 3 to episode 6, and again it gets confusing.
Mark? Where have you been?
Now meet Layla Al-Fuli, Steven/Mark's love interest, the character that took the majority of the show, just like how I took over the entire ant colony in my bathroom with water. This character is the only one I don't care. Like, I cared more about a random Egyptian gang that only appeared in episode 3 rather than an uninteresting love interest who somehow knows anything about archaeologists from his dead dad. That replaced the timestamp of when Moon Knight's supposed to appear, replaced the timestamp of when Moon Knight's supposed to fight because she somehow knows how to fight and doesn't need to be saved, and she ended up becoming a superhero that took more times from Moon Knight. What the hell? Dr. Arthur Harrow is the main villain that I thought was cool back in episode 1, even though it was a little rushed, only to find out that his character has nothing whatsoever. He only explained his origin story once in a vague way that us, the audience, can picture it, and there's also this one scene when the main villain was revealed. He starts crying, like, what happened here? It's just out of nowhere, and the show didn't explain why at all.
I am the god Khonshu.
Khonshu is the god that recruits Steven/Mark as his avatar. He played a mentor/teacher sort of role where he basically guides Steven/Mark to do something, for example, massacring dozens of archaeologists. His origin story is pretty interesting. Basically, he was exiled from the other gods because he's killing people who are committing sins, and that gods shouldn't intervene, but only observe. However, turns out Khonshu isn't the only god that intervened with humans. This is the main villain, Amit. This is the goddess that does the same thing as Khonshu, but instead of killing people who are committing sins, she kills people from their future doings. That means she can view people's future and judge them. So if someone will commit sins in the future, bye-bye. Episode 1, she didn't physically appear, but instead sent a strong presence.
You're a brave man, offering your soul for judgment, wanting to serve our goddess even before she wakes. I judge you in Amit's name with but a fraction of her power. This is the face of a good man. Will you accept your scales regardless of the outcome?
Yes.
I'm sorry. Perhaps it's something that lies ahead. Oh, I wish you could live to see the world we make. Yet Amit has decided.
She seems to be this insidious kind of character that lurks under the shadow, and her appearance in the finale is kind of fine, but then Khonshu suddenly fought her. Like, this is a show titled Moon Knight. He's supposed to be the one that's fighting, not other characters, okay? It's like these days solo superhero movies or show isn't even a thing anymore. My favorite character, Tawaret. It's always good when movies or shows starts introducing non-humanoid characters with so much personality and being resourceful.
Just a second ago, I thought that I'd been shot to death.
Oh! I'm afraid you're actually quite dead.
I'm sorry, what?
Welcome, gentle travelers, to the realm of the Jewad.
This is probably the only genuine effort that they put after episode 1, because again, the rest of the other episodes are just completely messy. So, the stakes, mainly on Moon Knight. Well, as I said before, his appearance is as rare as the netherite from Minecraft. But on top of that, the same goes with the saving life stakes. Most of the time, civilians, I should say, are in a Dawn Warrior area. For example, in episode 1, Moon Knight fought the Jackal in the bathroom alone. In episode 2, Moon Knight is fighting in an open area, but the Jackal did not attack anybody because it was sent to kill Moon Knight, so no one is really in danger. The same goes with every episode until the finale. But only for the uninteresting love interest to save the day. So yeah, Moon Knight did not save any lives. Instead, he is the one who started the trouble. Like in episode 3, he infiltrated the bad guys and even killing them. Now about the twist. Well, this is where it gets really irritating. You may thought that as a humble and not a fanatic person that the part where Mark shared his backstory was the only twist that basically wrapped up the whole arc of Moon Knight. But oh no, my friend, the show has at least 4 different twists which each is like a completely different story and very poorly made. Other than what I've mentioned, there's one where turns out Khonshu was using Mark to fulfill his mission. You also got one where turns out there's a third personality which completely contradicts the whole waking up in different places thing and ruined the entire lore. And finally, I've saved this one for the last because I want to talk about it. But also this one has the absolute potential to save the entire show. So it was revealed that Mark killed Layla's father.
What happened to my father? I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you, Mark!
This was a very good twist compared to the others, but sadly it took place too early back in episode 4 with a very weak reaction from Layla. Then the writer tried to shove this bullshit.
My partner got greedy and he executed everyone at the dig site. I tried to
We commonly know plot twist for its appropriate appearance in the end or the very end of the story. The same could have been done here. If the twist was in the very end of episode 6, it could save a lot of time for the other story to fill the gap. Maybe you can put the previous twist as different stories or developments that could lead to that final one. It's fair on why there's so many plot twists here that equates to the number of population on where I live. The writers definitely intended to do something similar but doesn't know how to, so they ended up shoving 3 twists right in episode 5, right in one scene, which sounds like your average like American lunch. So in one aspect, Moon Knight is a solo superhero show about a person who struggles with mental health, a superhero arc, and had to fight a group of bad guys to save the world. However, in another aspect of the show, it's just a perfect example of me not knowing how to write a goddamn essay, as it has too much like the twist, less characters development, and stop putting spotlight on other characters on a solo superhero story. I'm sick of this BS where directors, producers, or writers are trying to ruin the story for their own creativity, whether it's good or not, or to fill certain agendas because of how much knowledge they have. Making a solo superhero story isn't that hard. You don't have to put a shit ton of plot twists, you don't have to make other characters strong, especially for the love interest. I just don't understand why this isn't being avoided. It's like that crap alien thing from a computer game being attracted to the greatest mistake of life. Oh, and I like to say something, and this is the first time I said this. There is nothing wrong with the actors, they are just doing their jobs. But sadly, it's how it was written. The same goes with Eternals, Multiverse of Madness, and Obi-Wan Kenobi. Upcoming video, by the way. Like, imagine if a lot of the products in the future would follow the same strategy. I might as well bring back the Calvert. So yeah, this is a very massive video, and I don't know where to go, so I think I'll end it right here. I wish I could say more, but nah, I think that's enough. So follow me on Twitter for more content. I'll start tweeting daily there soon. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell. That way you'll be notified for my latest video, and peace.